Recording.
Mr. Steve's ready. I think he wants to lead the salute.
The press and the Down Beach Current were notified of this meeting. A copy of same was posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and on the municipal website. The meeting will come to order. Would you please stand for the flag salute led by Mr. Altman?
Flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Steve. Would you call the roll, please? Mr. Becker. Here. Mr. Blumberg.
Here.
Ms. Tawley.
Here.
What is your pleasure regarding the minutes of our meetings of January 2nd?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
And that should be changed to the 14th, please. Tom?
Yes.
2014?
Yeah. Yes.
And I'll second that.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg.
Yes.
Ms. Tawley.
Yes.
Is there any public comment?
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, unlike the former Vice President of the Margate Business Association and myself, your old buddy, Dr. Dennis Kelly, would never call you a liar. However, you managed to get his goat concerning the assertion, the allegation, and the fabrication that Ventnor was stonewalling consolidation of school services. If you notice, the governor's speech zeroed in on shared services, using Princeton as an example of saving millions of dollars. Dr. Kelly has stated that there's a $10 million savings on the table that Margate ignores year after year. I don't know if you got wind of what they have in store for us, Mayor, but last night at the school board meeting, they were talking about $1.3 million for asbestos remediation. Now, Mayor, you're in the hardware business. You fully understand asbestos tiling. You've probably been selling it for about 70 years, maybe more. And I can tell you, Mayor, that this carpeted asbestos tile has no asbestos particulates in the air. But if you really wanted to be zealous, Mayor, you could take that rug, the carpeting off, and put a wax stripper on that tile, and then proceed to put a 2-part epoxy paint, which would stabilize that asbestos for at least your lifespan or longer. So I'm telling you, Mayor, I think it's high time that we begin to consolidate services with Ventnor, starting with K through 3, which would enable us to close one of these very costly $1.3 million loan situations, further debt indebtedness. I think it's time that we stop this nonsense and stop it in its tracks. There's no need for 2 public schools in Margate, none whatsoever. Not when Ventnor has excess capacity to absorb our, in fact, according to Dr. Kelly, it could be, they could absorb K to 8. But let's be happy with K to 3 to enable us to close one of these schools. By closing one of the schools, not only do you avoid this $1.3 million asbestos remediation, but in addition to that, Mayor, you are able to eliminate 2 administrative posts, because you don't need 2 principals and a superintendent for a handful of kids.
15 seconds.
I'll use them well, Mayor. Just hold on.
I'm holding that.
Hold your shirt. Keep your shirt on. Because you're able to go from 2 principals and 1 superintendent to a principal/administrator, saving another $250,000. So let's start doing the right thing now. Because if we start closing the school now, we'll have it ready in September. It's the present, Mayor. Start doing it.
Thank you, John. Now, I have comments, but I'm not going to do it.
Ann Pancos, 200 North Osborne Avenue, Margate. Mayor, I was kind of shocked by the article that was in the paper on Friday. Can you give me any idea of who is responsible for this beach advertisement? And what happened? I believe I heard Tom mention there was a resolution in 2011, and there's nothing out there that explains anything.
It's because we don't know yet, Ann. We're looking into it. When we get to the bottom of it, it will become public. We just don't know yet. That's why there's nothing out there. Anyone else? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'd like to follow up on Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue.
Thank you.
Concerning the advertising on the beach, I had heard that people put their names on the side of lifeguard boats and they bought the boat. Is that true, that the people that are advertising on the boats paid for those boats?
That is correct.
That's correct. So in other words, if juniors, if their name's on the back of a boat, they bought that boat.
That is correct.
So so that would entitle them to advertise there. Okay. As far as other advertisements, I think I don't think it's be right to punish Mr. Goldberg if he wanted to continue to advertise, since he's lived up to the terms of the agreement. So if he wanted to continue to advertise, I don't think he should be punished by taking his name off the tents and what have you. But as far as the other two people, I think that should not be, they shouldn't be allowed to continue to advertise until that's been resolved. That's one thing. And also, as far as like any advertisement on umbrellas or what have you, I don't see where that's really should be allowed, Mayor. Even though they bought the umbrellas, I don't feel that that's a justification to continue really free advertising. And I'm hoping that that's not going to continue this summer, Mayor.
Pardon me? We haven't talked about the umbrellas yet, Steve.
Okay.
That
Well,
that obviously will be discussed as we
people are in
move forward.
arrears with other payments. They certainly shouldn't be allowed to continue to advertise for nothing. And even if they were to continue to advertise, they should be charged for that advertising, not allowed to do it for nothing, just for buying the umbrellas. I mean, that's, I don't think that's right. So, and also I would like to find out exactly where the money went, the missing funds, where they weren't, somebody at, the woman at Dino's said that she thought that the money had been paid, and I don't know, I'd like to know where that money went. So
That's why we're looking into it. We'll have a public
maybe in
report.
2 weeks, Mayor, we'll have an answer?
I can't go by.
Okay.
Any money that came into the city is audited, it's accounted for, whether it was 2011 before I was here, or if it's 2013 since. There's a receipt, there's an auditor that has been, all that money's been audited, there's nothing missing, there's no money missing, so to allege differently would be wrong, and I don't want to leave that public impression here.
Well, that was the impression from reading the article. If you...
No, there are the monies that were paid in, there were monies paid in, and there's receipt. The fact of the matter is, all of the money that
was paid in has been
anticipated
accounted
was
for.
not paid for, but the
Right.
money that has been paid, there have been receipts given, it's been accounted for.
So then, in other words, the money has not been paid. And, okay, well, then they shouldn't be allowed to advertise. But I think that in Mr. Goldberg's case, since he has paid, I think that he should be allowed to continue to advertise if he wants to, and continue to pay. That's all. Otherwise, you're punishing Mr. Goldberg.
Contracts are up.
Right.
Legitimate or not legitimate, the contracts are up on February 16th or 17th, 2014. That'll be the end.
That's it? Well, anyhow, okay.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Dan Gottlieb, 407 North Nassau. Everybody's upset about what they're reading in the paper. I guess you can add me to the list. This is more toward the solicitor. There's been a lot of comments by you, Scott, about the state will inflict revenge if we don't fight.
I don't think I said it that way, Dan.
Well, the quote was in the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I'll paraphrase, but it was something along the lines, laughingly, Mr. Abbott said, "What do you think the governor will do, or what do you think the state will do if we decide to litigate? He'll steamroll us." So I really don't know if the governor himself, and I can't speak for him, but I don't think he'd like to think that anybody would think here down in Margate that either he or somebody in his cabinet, like the commissioner of the DEP, would take that approach. And I find it, I find it a little, I don't know, disturbing, upsetting that we have protection mechanisms in place that we're asking for grants for, and you're saying the governor wouldn't be willing, or the state wouldn't be willing to give us those grants to continue the great protection that we already have, or reinforce the great protection we already have, because we don't want to pump $15 million worth of sand on our beach over the next 40 years. I'm sorry if you think I'm putting words in your mouth.
You are.
Okay, but and I know the press doesn't always get you right, but these are the quotes that have appeared now twice.
Well, you're not quoting it correctly, so...
Okay, well then could you please tell us how you feel and what you've said to the media about what will happen to Margate if Margate decides to litigate against the state?
The question was asked to me by the reporter in view of the Washington Avenue Bridge fiasco. Do you feel? And I said, no, not necessarily at all. I believe Bob Martin is a pretty decent man. I think we're going to have a meeting with him. I think we're going to negotiate with the state in good faith. I think it's coming. So no, I never said the governor would harm us or hurt us or whatever else you read into those comments. What I do think, though, is initially Bob Martin said, I'm not coming to Margate. And there was all this talk about threats of lawsuits. Well, now that threat has been somewhat relieved. And I believe now we may have a meeting with him. And that's the objective. That's what we're trying to do. So, you want to read it in any other way, you can, Dan, but that's not the way it was meant.
Well, I think you were then misquoted, because there are quotation marks around those comments
Well, I know what I
about you
said.
saying, what do you think the state will do if we decide to litigate?
The young lady, or I don't know if she's a young lady, the lady said to me, in view of this bridge fiasco, do you think? And I did laugh at that. I said, because I hear that almost every day. Now, everybody, if they're 5 minutes late going over the Longport Bridge, there's a joke about the governor. Not true here, though. We're trying to work with the state. We're not throwing kerosene on the fire. We're trying to throw water on the fire.
And I feel exactly the same
You always
way.
get more with
I just
sugar
wanted to get a
than you do with salt.
clarification. I just wanted to get a clarification. I know we don't want to, no one wants litigation. Would like to resolve it at the negotiating table. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Anyone else?
Sharon Simon, 424 North Thurlow Avenue. Not to get in a back and forth, but similar quotes were in the press article before the Bridgegate thing came out. And I don't know that they quoted everything you said. Good thing Fred's not here, he'd be killing me right now. But there was a quote about, you know, the governor may pull out or pull the stop on a project. I don't know that the statement's so unrealistic. What bothered me was the statement came before we've heard if we have a meeting or not. So, and I think it ties into this whole thing of, you know, are we going to spend $200,000 litigating this? Well, you know, I'm not saying you said that, but here's the reality of it. First of all, as of now, we don't have anything to litigate. We're waiting, we asked for a meeting, and we're waiting for the response. And a discussion about if we are or aren't going to litigate in public not necessarily in your executive session meeting, but out in public, seems to me is premature. To send a letter to the DEP, which was a good letter, you met in executive session and you came out with a letter. And it said, we don't want to spend a lot of money, but we have to protect the voters' rights and we won't be dictated to. And some of the wind from that letter, the sails came out with some of the things that were in the paper. Whether you said them or not, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, it took some of the wind out of that letter. It also took out when Mayor Becker on NBC News said, well, we don't want to spend a lot of money on litigation for a fight we're going to lose. Well, if you all feel that way, or if the majority feel that way, we're going to lose it, then don't write a letter saying we're going to fight for our rights. So that was disappointing to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's the mayor and the commission who represents Margate, and that you provide legal advice to them. And unless you all agreed as a commission that you were going to have the solicitor speak about his legal advice, what we were going to do or not do, maybe you had that meeting and all agreed. I think we need to hold back on that and just, take it one step at a time and give everybody their due and ability to say phase or whatever. That's my comment. I do wish that Solicitor Abbott had been at the same luncheon with Don Guardian, speaking Mayor Guardian. He basically said, look, no one believed I could raise the money, no one believed I could get the votes, and no one believed I could win this election. And he did all of those things. So let's stop being so pessimistic. They're going to do this to us, and we're not going to win, and we can't fight this. Let's be more optimistic. Let's do the best we can and have everybody be able to show their bravado that they need to show and also come up with a good solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Billy Giacovini, 112 North Vendome. Just a quick question about these boats and this advertising. Am I correct in saying that the people paid for the boats?
That's my understanding.
At a savings to the city of maybe $75,000, $80,000.
That's
Now,
about...
how offensive is this, that we're saving this kind of money and somebody's name is on the boat? It's mind-boggling that we're even wasting time. If we need $200,000 to fight for the dunes, which is a much more important thing, we're getting people donating these boats. Mayor, that would be, if I donated, which I'm not going to do, but Kevlar vests to the police department, and I put my name on them, after 5 years, you take it off? I mean, this is $100,000 that we'd have to pay for with these boats, correct?
I get
whatever the
how many
figure
boats
is.
are there?
80.
$80,000. So it would have to come from the city money, I'm sure. We have to have them.
Do
I
we
just
have
don't understand.
records? Do we have any records?
I'm sure we do.
I don't understand, like, they don't want to see advertising. Do we stop the planes coming on the beach? Do we stop the boat that comes up and down? This is insanity. I think we have more important things. I just have to say that, sorry.
Thank you, Willie. Anyone else? Motion to close this section of public comment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
We will now open for public comment on second readings of ordinance, which we have none, so it'll be on resolutions.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. Mayor, your undivided attention to resolution number 22 and resolution number 26. On number 22, Mayor, can I assume that $2,000 is the grant writer's fee? Would that be correct, Mayor, or are you clueless on that?
Tom, is that correct?
I'm not, Brendan, you may want to plug that. Pardon me? Brendan is aware of this one, I believe.
What is correct?
It is incorrect. No fee. No, it's incorrect. It's an application for a $2,000 grant.
Seems rather a pittance. Okay, onward to number 26.
It's a capacity building grant. They just need permission, or Monica Coffey, our chairperson of Sustainable Margate, just needs permission from the commission to move forward with that grant ask.
We were just
That's all.
making sure that there wasn't a liberal grant-writing fee being dispersed by the city of Margate
No, there
City.
isn't.
Number 26, Mayor. I appreciate your zeal for executive sessions. However, the state law stipulates some specificity, Mayor. Are you capable of some specificity today?
John, no one detests executive session more than I do. So, once again...
Well, let's have it open at all times.
You're 2 for 2, incorrect.
It's all right, Mayor. I'm a humble guy.
I know.
I can stand corrected.
You
Some
have to
people
be.
can't.
Cool.
I'll always admit when I'm wrong.
That's true. That's good. Good characteristic.
But let's have some specificity on number 26, other than to say that number 26 is part of the Fermi riddle.
Are we allowed to say any more than what's on there?
Yes, we are.
Okay, well, why don't we...
It has to do with the litigation of Hiltner versus the city of Margate. Our attorney representing the city is going to be here. We're going to be discussing the status of it with him in an executive session.
That sounds fair enough to me. Thank you very much, Solicitor.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to close public comment?
I'll make the
that
motion that we close public
I'll
comment.
second it.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Mr. Hiltner?
Ordinance 2014-01, the bond ordinance providing for various water utility capital improvements in the amount of $150,000. Second reading and public hearing is February the 6th, at 5 p.m.
I make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Ordinance 2014-02 amends Chapter 103 as previously discussed regarding bulkhead. Second reading, public hearing February 6th, at 5 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 13 authorizes payment of claim and payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 14 authorizes cancellation of balances under $10 for tax and utilities.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 15 accepts the resignation of Deutsche Bank as escrow agent, replaces it with the U.S. National Bank
I'll
for
make
general
that
obligation bonds.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
16 authorizes payment to Colmar.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
17 authorizes the 2014 Municipal Alliance Grant.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
18 awards a contract for video televising of the sewer lines to Video Pipe Service, $130,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
And 19 rejects bids received for the Gladstone Avenue water tank painting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
And 20 authorize the rebid of the Gladstone Avenue water tank.
Make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 21 authorizes transfers to the 2013 budget.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 22 authorizes Sustainable Jersey grant application for $2,000.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 23 also authorizes tax assessors to make corrections for calculations or any other minor errors.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Resolution 24 awards a beach vending license for 2014 to Shoreline NJ LLC for $88,000.
I'll make the motion.
Mr.
Second.
Becker? Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
Yes.
Number 25 awards a contract for the bulkhead repairs and Sumner Avenue replacement to KG Marine for $239,939.
Make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Taube?
Yes.
And 26 authorizes the previously mentioned executive session.
Mayor, before you vote on that, just we're discussing with the solicitor, just change the caption according to the request. Change
So
the
you can
caption on
find
it.
it down the line. You know, right now, I agree, it should be.
It's generic, so just change the caption.
Okay. That's cool. We can do it. Tom, you have it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Tom, I think we should put the
It should be-
caption in, so down the line, we can find the resolution. that
Like Keltner versus
Be more
the city.
specific.
Oh, the resolution was here. We were just going by the agenda. That's
It's in the resolution?
yeah.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay, great.
There is a resolution here
So
somewhere.
I make a motion to approve it as is?
Let's
Sorry.
find it first.
Did we vote?
I don't have it. Oh, I have to look. Here it is.
You're saying the resolution for executive session?
I'm just saying that the resolution for executive session should specify what matter it is. That's all.
Okay. You do that?
Did we vote? Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yes. Did we vote yet? I can't remember.
No. Did we? No. Is there a motion?
I made the motion.
All right, I second.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes.
Ms. Dalby?
Okay.
Yes.
Now that we are going to go into executive session, when we're finished, we will come back and report on what went on.
You have to call for a motion to go there.
Well, I already did.
Oh, did you?
Don't do it, don't do it.
Very simple. The governor's problem is not Bridgegate. It's instead.
Is there a motion to close executive session?
I'll make a motion that we close executive session.
Second.
Have you call the roll, please?
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we needed another motion to open our regular public session.
I'll make a motion that we reconvene our regular session.
Second.
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Okay, we are in public session. Scott, would you comment on?
We're coming out of the executive session whereby we discussed the status of litigation in the matter of Hiltner versus the City of Margate. Our attorney, Dave Rapawana, was present. We reviewed a number of issues: status of discovery, status of legal fees and payment of legal fees, strategy coming down into what may be the trial, anticipated trial date, obligations we may have with any continuing discovery efforts. This is, of course, covered to be confidential as a part of ongoing litigation. That is all statement that is necessary at this time.
Thank you, Scott. Anyone have anything else?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Mayor Becker.
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Commissioner Talby.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. There is